G-O-O-D, good, E-V-E-N-I-N-G, good evening, A-N-D, and H-A-P-P-Y, happy, A-U-T-U-N-N. Good evening and happy autumn. I have D-I-C-T-A-T-E-D. I have dictated, S-O-M-E-T-H-I-N-G. I have dictated something that I am, G-O-I-N-G, going to A-S-K, ask, D-A-D, dad, to R-E-A-D. I've dictated something I'm going to ask Dad to read. And here it is. Yeah. 6 years ago, when I first caught a glimpse of meaning, I listened to Shakespeare. 2 years ago, I took my first online college course, and it was on modern poetry. So poetry was always there, and has ever been the companion of my developing mind. How strange and wonderful, then, to have these poems by Mom happening around me, about how strange, and sometimes wonderful, it was to be around me. Mom's love of me and language and meaning is reflected on every page, and I hope you enjoy the book. I welcome and thank you so much for coming. It means so much to us to have you here. I want to draw your attention to the fact that the title of Meredith's book, A Special Education, is a pun. The book doesn't have any of the bleakness of Flaubert's sentimental education, but it's kind of typical of Meredith that there are puns and constructions and things to watch out for. Special education is an American euphemism for non-education, really, for the way you try to educate people who can't really be educated the way everybody else is supposed to be educated. And Meredith, in calling this book A Special Education, is going the Flaubert route and writing about what life taught her after school was over. And I think she's done an amazing job. About 11 years ago, under the influence of Phyllis Wheatley, an African-American poet from the 18th century, of whom Meredith was making a sculpture for Boston, Meredith started to study poetry. She'd been interested in poetry when she was much younger, but she decided to start studying it seriously. And it matters very much in a situation like that how good your first teacher is. And Meredith was lucky enough to have Charles Martin, who's here today, as her first teacher. And we are here today because he did such an encouraging and inspiring job in the... it's not that hard to squash somebody who comes to a new art form as an adult. And thank you, Charles, for the opposite. So to prime your ear a little bit, I decided to read some of my favorite lines out of context from poems that Meredith is not going to read. Give you an idea of some of the things that are in the book. The New York Review of Birdsong has arrived. What kind of book is it that no one writes? What silence was I there to learn to keep? That's a gem, but Meredith's going to read it. Each student seeks the lucid indications that separate the diner from the dinner. It's not time to test the edge. One always dreams of more dramatic rescue. And finally, I think it's finally, make sure it's very bad manners to say finally at a poetry reading if you're not finishing. Today, this second, sharp and fresh as rain-soaked pastures and as paper cuts. So thank you very much, and here's Nemo, Meredith's publisher.